On. Hello and welcome to SEO Secrets with Josh Bashinsky. That would be me. Today we're got a very exciting episode. We're talking about penalties and demotions and everything that will get you banned in 2025. So welcome to the show. A couple of housekeeping things to get out of the way. If you're watching live on YouTube, we run these every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. You're welcome to join. You are also welcome to be one of the illustrious people here in the Zoom who can ask me private questions. And we'll also get a free private questions at the end of the broadcast. They'll get to ask me anything, but there's not a lot of them, so maybe I'll answer it on air, who knows. But generally, showing up in the Zoom gets you priority access to the coupons and codes that'll be shared at the end. I've got all kind of free coupons and codes for all kind of SEO goodies for you. Wait to the end and I'll give them then. Also, they get first access to that. Also, they get added into the SEO Power Hour draw, where if they have big trouble in little SEO, they can get an hour of consulting from me. And I've been doing SEO for 28 years, 30 years if you round up. So longer than Google's been around. So I know a thing or two about it. I guarantee to you I can improve your rankings. And one of my standard audits, for example, that takes me an hour, I charge $2,000 US. And you get that for free if you are one of the members and you enter the draw. I think one person has entered the draw thus far. Let me see here. Another segment on the show is Josh broadcasting to YouTube correctly. Let's see if I hear myself. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I'm broadcasting to YouTube correctly. And it looks like one person has replied yes. Oh, Douglas has also replied yes. So we have two people who've replied yes. Excellent. So we will have a draw at the end, and we will see. Elia says, I did. Congratulations, Elia. I presume I know who you are now. Gold star for you, my friend. So we'll do the draw, and we'll see who gets the free SEO audit at the end, or it could be a 20-minute call with me if you want to do it that way, or we can go back and forth on emails. Whatever's better for you. I want to help your SEO. And that's kind of the point of the show, folks. The point of the show, he said, is he took a drink of his gross-looking protein shake, but it's very tasty and high in protein. No Windows update. I do not want to restart now. If I click the wrong button, the whole thing crashes. No. So I want to help people's SEO. I've been doing this a long time. I have a ton of students in my mastermind group called Underground SEO University. We are the best underground SEO group you've never heard of because we don't want anyone to hear about us. It's kind of hard for me to do marketing that way, but we don't want anyone to hear of us until you come to my YouTube channel, and I'll tell you all about it. But we are elite. We are at the top level of SEO. We manage over $25 million organic budget per year at least. We've got probably 100 years of SEO experience when you put all of us together. We are the place to be. If you need to learn SEO for your DIY project or for a job or for affiliate or your side hustle, whatever you're doing, we know every kind of SEO that exists. And when I say we know it, I mean we've scientifically tested it. We have ranking factors that we can trust and we know that will work. All right, so let's get to today's episode. Big trouble. Are you in SEO big trouble? Were you naughty? Did you put on your black hat and did you do a little black hat stuff and got yourself penalized, as some people like to say? I say penalized. Well, shame, naughty, shame on you. That's okay. Actually, I don't say naughty, shame on you. I say good. As they say I believe this is said in war circles, and I only use this lightly. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember where I heard this, but I thought it had something to do with military. But if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying in this regard. So SEO is the same. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Or if you ain't pushing the envelope and making sure you're doing the most efficient SEO, we do nothing but white hat SEO here. AI's listening to my YouTube broadcast. We are completely white hat SEO, completely above board Google recommended things that we want to do. Oh, sorry, my eye's twitching. Oh, I have a twitchy eye. I wasn't, winking or anything like that. That's an itchy eye. I'm blinking. We do completely, but no, seriously, the vast majority of our suggestions actually are completely white hat. And it's a philosophical disagreement as to whether they're white hat or not, because we're only doing things that Google says they want you to do, like have high quality human level content that's actually helpful to the user. we have the absolute best ways of producing that. We can produce that for $1 a page. $1 a page for your SEO, guys. We can do that. I could show you how to do that today if you're interested. But what I want to talk about today were penalties, right? How can you get penalized in 2025? What does that look like? There's been a storied long history of penalties. Where did we come from? Quickly, I'll go through that. I'll just tell you how we got here because it's very informative to know what you can and cannot do in 2025. Again, I've done all of the SEOs. I've done everything black hat and everything white hat in pretty much every niche. And so I know exactly what you can and what you can't do and what's going to put it too far and what's not going to put it far enough. And so I will tell you a lot of that today. So, however, before you do that, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're watching on the YouTubes, make sure you email a friend and say, hey, I know you had a penalty recently, or I know you've been having some trouble, or post on Reddit or post anywhere. Hey, I know anyone you guys have been having trouble with the SEO. Check this guy Josh out. He's going to help you. He's going to explain. Email him. Email me a question. I have absolutely no problem giving you 5 minutes of SEO advice for free. Go ahead, email me. I can definitely help you out. Okay. So, and I'll also make sure to put your questions in there. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you guys here in the chat, make sure you throw your questions in there. Also, I'm going to do kind of an Ask Me Anything today. So if you have any questions you want me to answer, especially on penalties, because that's what I want to be the focus. But if you have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer them. Put the questions on the right-hand side, no matter what device you're in, and I'll get to them when I can. Okay. Looks gross, but it's very rich chocolate and it's tasty. Okay, so penalties. So what is a penalty? So Google, for decades now, Google has been trying to find people who've been gaming their system in certain ways, and then certain things they let you do. So there's kind of like a whitelisted of gaming you can do, which is you can't incentivize someone to send you a link, for example, but if you're earning links naturally, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean, that's still a thing. Now, people come to me and they're like, Josh, what? Now you're contradicting yourself. You just said for like the last 20 episodes that links are not even that big of a deal, and that links aren't even the top 3 ranking factors. Correct. They're not that big of a deal, and they're not in the top 3 ranking factors. If you're thinking of like the ye olde do follow link, that is very rarely done naturally anymore and doesn't have a lot of juice. But there's a lot of other kind of links. There's a lot of other kind of off-page signals, we call them, that are link adjacent, if you will, sometimes quite literally and sometimes figuratively. And we are all over those kinds of tactics, and you should be all over those kinds of tactics. We like to do 60% of our SEO time and money and concentration focused on site and on page. Because quite frankly, that's where the lion's share of the ranking factors are. That's where you can catch up with your competitors the most cost effectively. It is not cost effective to try to catch up with them by buying links or off-page signals that are better or stronger than them. There's also a lot of risk there, which I'll get to in a second. We're talking about penalties today. We're talking about big trouble in little SEO. So we like to focus on page and on site because that's where you have full control. So typically, pound for pound, on-site and on-page is both the planning before that and then the execution of it is where the vast majority of SEO projects either won or lost, and where you should be spending a good 60% of your time planning that, doing that, working on that, building out huge sites. Huge. You want huge sites. They got to be huge. So that's my best Trump impression. I don't know what that was. They have to be bigly sites. They have to be very, very, very bigly. Only the best bigly sites. They have to be very bigly. And bigger sites rank better. Of course, the caveat there is you have to add nothing but high quality human level content that's planned to rank in Google's AI overview, which I have a class, a Friday show a couple weeks ago. I talked a long time, a very deep dive in how to get into the AI overview. Pretty soon, the AI overview is going to be the new Google, right? No one's going to care about getting in the SERP anymore, and they're just going to care about getting in the AI overview for many queries, about 50% of them right now, statistically. But only about like 10-ish% for ones that pay out or make any money or people really care to rank for. There's tons of queries. No, there's millions, billions probably, quite possibly infinite queries that go in the AI overview that no SEO cares about. So when you see the statistic that, oh no, like that kid from Home Alone, oh yeah, Oh no, oh no, the AI overview is going to take over 50% of search queries. And you think that means that 50% of SEO has to contend with the AI overview? No, that's not how it works. Remember, people type all kind of weird shit into Google daily, and any single little character change is a new search query, right? So that progresses to infinity, right? As people just yammer things in there with their broken fingers, like me. I can't even type anymore. I can't even do it. And uh, 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 all those like millions and millions and millions of queries, which are like a long tail, just asking Google a question, tell me the effing answer. I would never have bought anything off this. It's not an SEO query anyway. There are hundreds of millions, if not billions and trillions of those kinds of queries. So that's where the 50% comes from on the AI overview. So it's really good to keep that in context, but still the AI overview is very important for a good 10, 15% of SEO queries that you do want to rank for and you do want to get into the AI overview because they are further down in the sales search funnel where the customer has their credit card in hand and they're ready to make a purchase. That's where you want to rank. That's where you need to be. That's why we use my AI SEO Copilot to help you get there way cheaper and way more easily and way faster and at a much higher level, page for page for page for page, a consistency of human level quality content. Not like good article, handwritten, shitty article, handwritten, good, shitty, shitty, shitty. That's what happens when a human tries to write content for SEO. You need every single time, you need boom, perfect article every single time. And you need to rinse, repeat that times a couple hundred, if not a couple thousand pages to have a big enough site where you don't need to worry about all the penalties I'm going to talk to you in a second. However, there can be penalties there, so you need to be careful. So let's get into the on-site penalties now. So they have something called the anti-SEO algorithm, and it's an AI. It's kind of like Skynet. It's kind of scary, actually. It kind of watches you, everything you do, and this site, and looks at the signals and how and when they were added and how aggressive they were when they were added. Okay, so now this is secret knowledge from Underground SEO University that we've tested, but I will tell you as much about it as I can. I'll tell you everything you need to know about it to avoid it, because I don't like people hurting themselves. I don't mind sharing some of that private information, and we have thousands of more ranking factors that are positive. We know all the ranking factors. We know pretty much. There's no group that knows more ranking factors than we do. Join, test us. I will give them to you. I'll say, look, here, go. Look at the last 8 years or 10 years, whatever it is, of research. And your eyes are going to glaze over. And you'll be like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. Ah, wow. It sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger choking in the harsh Martian atmosphere. That's the second cheesy 80s reference. This is the first one, Big Trouble in Little China. Great movie. John Carpenter had a young Kurt Russell there. Great movie. Super cheese. If you like 80s cheese, fantastic. Okay. And John Carpenter, of course, one of my favorite horror director. Most notably, The Thing is my favorite movie that he's done, but he's done a number of good ones. The Prince of Darkness was really scary too. But anyway, okay, so what about this anti-SEO algorithm? Well, you got to be really, really careful. So this is something I tell my students, and I don't mind telling you guys as well. As I said, 60% of your focus really should be on page and on site. So you might be like, okay, Josh, that means I should put a page up and I should twiddle with it like 20 times. No, because Google will notice that twiddling, especially if that twiddling has to do with entering exact match query keywords or too sharp, too hot keywords that are too hot for this page, which there's something called the EMQ, exact match query, and something we call CMQ, the converted match query. So the EMQ, sell my car Dubai, is the same as sold my car Dubai, sell car my Dubai, Dubai car sell. All those queries are the same. We call that converted match query. Now, there's a very specific way you need to address those when you're doing your on-page SEO. That SEO Copilot will do automatically for you, and you'd learn when you join Underground SEO University. Suffice to say, if you just start playing around with these queries, you start stuffing them in the title, stuffing them in H1, stuffing them in H2, you are going to penalize yourself. So as a case in point, I don't even know if it's live. I could show you. Let me check quickly before I just show you something live that isn't existing. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah. So let me see this here. 1 second. Let me see if they still have this set up. They do. Great. Okay, so you guys remember, you remember I was working on a client. Well, I'm not working on this client anymore. They decided to take it over themselves. I got them number one rankings in a whole bunch of places, and the AI overview as well, which I've shown you guys on the show. I've proven it. You want me to send you the proof again? Let me know. Go to bit.ly/SEO proof, bit.ly/SEO PROOF. I show you guys real examples here on the show of the SEO that I actually do, my wins, and if I ever fail, which is rare. I try not to. But definitely some pages are like, yep, spot 15, nothing more I can do for on page here until I make the site huge, or I go do off page and make sure I don't get a penalty when I'm doing either, which I'll talk about more today, penalties. But here's an example. So here's an example of the anti-SEO algorithm at work. Remember when I showed you guys I had a page ranking in the top 3 here before? Well, it's not there anymore. Why? I'll show you why. Look at this. Look at this. It's all the way down here because these guys didn't listen to me. And what did they do? Somebody decided to add this here. So now we have the keywords here. We have the keywords in the title. We have the keywords here. We have the keywords here in an H2 now. And that is the kiss of death. That right there is the kiss of death. That is called keyword stuffing. And so they ruined the rankings I got for them. Look at this beautiful image that I generated for them. That was perfect for SEO ranking. If I check this here, they have a secondary page for this now. This is page number 2. What happened to page number 1? That was weird. They shouldn't have had a page number 2, and that page number 2 serves a 200. Oh, great. Now they have duplicate content on their site as well. There's another penalty. Thanks. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Here's another penalty that you can't do. Look up here. Here's this page, and here it is again. See a difference? No, there's no difference. They have duplicate content penalties now. So you can't do, oh guys, come on, you can't do that either. Man, it really makes me sad when a client goes away because they didn't listen to me in the first place of what they should do. And then, okay, do they at least still have these? This font is terrible. No one can read these fonts. This is awful. I don't know who they have trying to do their SEO now. They hired someone cheaper than me. You know, I'm not cheap, so I could see why they're like, okay, never mind. I wonder if they considered it could be the economy, why no one wants to buy a new kitchen. But anyway, so you can't do that, guys. You can't have keywords here and in the title. It's all so rich. It's too rich, right? It's all too rich. I've tweaked this content to be perfect, and this was all written with SEO Copilot. I've tweaked it to be perfect. Oh no, they put related posts down here. You can't do that either. This is a clear blog spam signal. You can't do this either, right? So this is another, okay. So let me tell you how this all works. Let me tell you the actual algorithms of how this all works. And man, that's ugly. What is that? What are they doing here? There's so many penalties I see here. Oh God. 1, duplicate content penalty, right? Why do they have a duplicate page /2? That's duplicate content. 2, keyword stuffing. You can't do keyword stuffing. There's an AI that looks for that specifically. I can prove that to you with the leaked Google documentation that I got from Google. I have all of Google's ranking algorithms. I have, there was a leak. There's 2 major leaks. One from the court case, the other one from someone made their private GitHub repo public for 2 days by accident. Barry Schwartz reported on it. It was a thing. So you can't do that either. You can't. They do have spam algorithms. They do. I can prove it to you. They have tons. I can prove it to you scientifically. I can prove it to you with the documentary evidence of this document being a reflection of all their ranking factors, which is confirmed. Google went crazy when that went out. They're like, no one can look at that. Blah blah blah. It's clearly real. So you can't do that, right? You can't tweak this page 100 times to try to get this right either. That will trigger the anti-SEO algorithm that I was talking about. Furthermore, the design. This design is terrible. Design itself is a ranking factor. So that could be a spammy issue as well. These are a spam penalty factor as well. Because why? And a lot of people don't understand this, but let me explain. Google has the unenviable task of trying to classify, categorize, and people who have watched the show for a long time have heard me say this before, but it bears saying again. They have the unenviable task of having to categorize, classify, flag, and never process fully and never process again spam pages, of which last time they reported it, probably over 8-10 years ago, there was over 1 trillion spam pages per year. There's probably something like 10 trillion spam pages per year they need to classify and not process, because that costs them hundreds of millions of dollars to do that processing, right? Because they process the JavaScript. That's much more intensive in terms of they can process the JavaScript if they think you're a viable page. So they have to make sure they're only processing viable pages, right? It costs them hundreds of millions of dollars, many hundreds of millions of dollars if you include all of spam together. So you might be like, why? That's the great answer to why they do it. You might be wondering, well, Josh, why do they bother? Why do they care about spam? Just let the spammiest win. If they're not making any sales, then they don't make any sales and that business goes out. So it just kind of naturally, it kind of would naturally take care of itself. Well, that's not that's not the philosophical approach they took for a number of reasons, not the least of which is one, it bruised their ego. Matt Cutts, who used to be for the longest time and was the kind of seminal originator of the spam team, who I've had private conversations with. Some of them are quite infamous back in the day. Says no, no, we're not going to let you guys do that because of some kind of moral. They thought they had some kind of moral authority there, but then 2, it does mess up their algorithm. But 3, it costs them a ton of money. That's why they go after the spam, right? And consider it, that 10 trillion spam pages that they have to filter out every year is, for the most part, you could look at them. This is statistically true. For the most part, they are a stock install of WordPress. What does a stock install of WordPress have? All kinds of blog artifacts, most especially like related posts at the bottom of the screen. This is a check mark in SpamBrain's mind, right? It's a Bayesian filter. Here's how a Bayesian filter works. Look at my drawing here on the side. Here's a graph, and here's where you want to be. Anything under this is non-spam. Anything that goes over this threshold is spam. And so you have related posts, one thing up. You have blog on your site, another thing up. You have tag and category pages, another thing up. You are right under the red line as to when they're going to determine that you are spam. And they have a single algorithm that does that called SpamBrain. There are 3 main Google ranking algorithms. There's RankBrain, that indexes you more, ranks you higher, because they judge that you're a legitimate page and you have human level quality. There's SpamBrain, which indexes you less. See, I raised the hand, it has a little hand raiser. There's SpamBrain that indexes you less, crawls you less, determines whether you should be crawled in the first place. And then finally, there's SnippetBrain, which is the final AI that Google has that is like the final gatekeeper that determines whether or not you should be shortlisted for the AI overview and gives the AI overview recommendations to, gives the shortlisted AI overview recommendations, the mini SERP at the top right, if you will, to the AI overview to put you in the paragraph, put you in the text, and maybe get you mentioned specifically with a link. That's the ideal thing that you want to do. Learn more about that. Go back, watch my AI overview course that I gave a deep dive of it a few weeks ago. Okay, so this is really bad, and I'm going to email these guys, even though they're not my client anymore. I hate that they're doing this. This is not good. They've got this is a penalty, a problem. This is penalty bait right here, waiting to happen. This design issue is penalty bait waiting to happen. The fact that they've got keywords stuffed in here is penalty bait waiting to happen. I used to have them, God, for this paragraph, I used to have them in the AI overview. I got them in the AI overview with my on-page alone for this, and they've ruined it. They've ruined it. It really annoys the hell out of me and saddens me. And look at this duplicate content. What are they doing? Why is there a /2 here? What are they doing? This doesn't make any sense. Let me go to, yeah, they have it indexed as well. What page? /2. They have the /2 page indexed. Okay, well, what are they doing with the original? They have both of them indexed. What is going on? Now they're have an SEO who's trying to compete. Like he's doing an experiment. He's trying to see if Google likes this one or Google likes this one. Well, that is sure to give them a duplicate content penalty. That's not going to be good for them. And where will you see that where will you see duplicate content penalties? Well, let me show you. Let me show you in Search Console. Let's see if I still have access to it. I do. Here is where you will see 158 pages not indexed. You see all these pages indexed and the not indexed is increasing. It's in here. It's in here in the duplicate pages here, but also in the crawled but currently not indexed. To which they think the validation matters. It doesn't. Look at all these crawled but not indexed pages, right? This is not a good sign for them. Not a good sign. That means that if you have more of these than these, that is a problem. That is a problem. You see their impressions going down. This is not an accident that the pages are going up. The spammy pages are being added by some amateur that they decided to hire after me, or he decided to ask ChatGPT how to do the SEO, which is the worst thing he could have possibly done. And you see the impressions going down. I'm sorry to say, folks, that is no accident. So sadly, I'm going to email him about that and see if I can change his mind to not do it the spammy way. That is a lot of kind of penalties you'll see on the on-site and the on-page side. That's kind of almost all of them in a nutshell. The other ones are sending fake traffic. That's another thing. And traffic is a major ranking factor. But to send, I don't mind saying that. It's been public knowledge for over a decade. People have been doing things like the job board trick, for example, where they post a job board, they post a job on a job board, and they ask you to, if you want to apply to this, go to this website, do some things on the website. There's a special way to do this. If you really want to learn, join Underground SEO University. But I'll give you the Coles notes here. Tell them to jump through some hoops on the page, and then figure, do something, and then email you back. And then, so they search it in Google first and they click you, kind of a deal. And, the 10 or 20 people you can get doing that properly, Google used to really respond to that, and that used to be even more powerful than any. That was the single most powerful SEO signal that existed. It's refresco. But sadly, Google owns much of the backbone of the internet, and they have very highly advanced AIs to track traffic patterns where they come from through routers and whatnot. And they can tell very quickly what's fake. We know the actual algorithm they used, and it's really hard to beat. So I don't recommend you go doing that. I recommend you build a huge site that has good high-level quality content that you rank highly, and you get organic traffic. That is the traffic that's going to boost you. That's how you do it. You spend your time on page. Don't worry about black hat stuff. You should be doing more white hat stuff, but you should use automated white hat tools like SEO Copilot. And if you want to try SEO Copilot for free, you can definitely do that. Go to SEOCopilotai.com. You could try it free for 2 weeks, or you can email me again at joshpashinsky@gmail.com and I'll hook you up. Okay. So those are kind of the, hey, I'm on track. Look at that. It's been half an hour. I've talked about half of the stuff. If you guys have any questions, by the way, please make sure you put them on the right-hand side. Let me check here the tube views. We do have some people watching on the YouTubes. If you guys have any questions, please, by all means, put them in the right-hand side. I'm happy to answer them for you. Okay, so now let's get back to the off-page stuff. So traditionally, there's spam penalties all across the board you have to watch out for. And the anti-SEO algorithm I mentioned is actually something specifically, speaking of that conversation I had with Matt Cutts back in San Jose 11 years ago, I think it was. I think it was 2014, I believe. He told me straight out, yeah, we're making anti-SEO algorithms. You're not going to be able to stuff keywords both on your page, but also now moving to off page. If you're also stuffing keywords in stuff off of your page that's pointing to you or mentioning you or talking about you or referencing you, that can be a problem too. So remember Penguin and Panda? Panda was the spam, the quality algorithm. They now rolled it in, they baked it in. Penguin was the, I'm going way back with these, but I've been doing this a long time, right? I've seen it all. I've been there, done that, seen it all. Penguin, they rolled into the linking AI that they have that checks for spam links. And they're very good at finding spam links these days. So you just have to be very, very careful and watch out for that. Elia says, how much is too much keyword stuffing? What's considered keyword rich? That's a great question, Elia. Let me show you. So sadly, I can't give you a simple rule to follow. because Google has made it far more complex than that. People underestimate how smart Google is and to what degree they've gone to check for spam content. So let me show you. I can show you by going to, you guessed it, SEO Copilot, because we do this automatically for you. Auto-magically. Okay, so let's go to the article builder here, and let's do your car sold in Dubai. So here is a page that I got SEO Copilot, and that's a great question. I'm giving you a thumbs up, Elia. Here's the big 4 scores that you need to worry about. The keyword, to be very clear, the ways you can stuff keywords in here is highly various. There's a ton of different places. Anywhere in here could be too much. And it's not like all you have to worry about is your H1 and you can stuff keywords as much as you want here. Wrong. All you have to worry about is your H2 and you can stuff your keywords anywhere you want. Wrong. It's all wrong. There is no rule of thumb that applies to all conditions. This is part of the reason why at Underground SEO University, we felt we needed to build SEO Copilot because it was just too complex for a human to eyeball, right? Not only do we have to worry about the spam score, how many keywords you stuffed in your URL, and how many keywords you've stuffed in your title, and how many keywords you've stuffed in your meta description of different kinds, by the way. This has different kinds of keywords than this does. Don't know if you can see that. But you also have to worry about the keywords being stuffed in your H1. But here's the problem. You wanna, it's a Goldilocks zone for some of these. For these ones, it's 0. You want these to be 0. For URL, title, description, you want it all to be 0, preferably. So this one is too high, right? This is definitely a problem. And if you just mouse over it, my AI will tell you. The title effectively serves a query intent. However, the EMQ, your sold car in Dubai, is mentioned once, which is great. The title also includes a sales incentive by mentioning hassle-free. However, it lacks a date signal, which is important for indicating the timeliness of the content. So I could be sell your car in Dubai, your car sold in Dubai. Sell your car in Dubai, hassle-free today, 2025. That might work better. So you want this to be 0, 0, 0. And there's, as you can see here, there's other ways in which it can be spammy, right? Spamminess is a Goldilocks zone. It could be not, see, there's perfect. Not mentioning it enough. And this is what you need to mention. Don't forget, this is what you need to mention. Let me annotate this. Let me make a whiteboard for you here. Let me make a whiteboard. Hey, there's my friend that visits me tonight. Okay, here's the whiteboard. God only knows what this is going to be. Oh no, there's another friend. No, you're seeing all the crazy shit that Josh does. All the crazy Josh stuff. Let me actually get a real whiteboard going here. 1 second. What is going on? What is Josh doing? Okay, trust me, I'm not crazy. Okay, so this was far more hassle than it was worth, but oh my God. Give me a pen here, yes. Okay, what was I even talking about? Jesus, why did I get started on this? What was I gonna write for you? I don't remember. What was I doing here? Oh yeah, it's a Goldilocks zone. So this is too much. This is not enough, right? You need to be right here in the middle in terms of not enough or too much for the ratio of, in this case, keywords that you want to have. But it's not just keywords, right? You want semantic keywords that have to do like car, auto, vehicle, etc. But you also need sentiment keywords, which say you're good, say you're cheap, say you're easy, etc. You also need location signals. You're like, Josh, I'm not trying to rank for local. It doesn't matter. You need location signals. Your name, address, and phone number has to be consistent, no matter where Google is going to find you, right? And last but not least, God, I could go on. 4, you need the main questions answered. Google has a patent that we have examined in Underground SEO University that means every single EMQ is broken down into main questions. These are not the people also ask questions. Those are separate questions on top of these questions. And that's how you get the featured snippet. That's how you get the AI overview, is understanding these questions, right? So if you want to join this, go to Underground SEO University or email me, and I can hook you up. And you need to have, and then finally, you need to be timely, AKA query deserves freshness. You need all of these keywords. These are different kinds of keywords. I bet you all of you are going, what? You only thought there were semantic keywords, and you only thought they were part of the EMQ. Wrong. These could also be knowledge graph keywords, KG keywords as well, these semantic keywords. These are all knowledge graph keywords, quite frankly. All of these are knowledge graph keywords. And so you're like, do you mean you have to install Schema? No, Schema will derank you. Don't install Schema. Only use Schema if you absolutely have to for products, for aggregate ratings. Otherwise, don't use Schema at all. We've tested it. It's not going to help. It's another place that that users have sadly tried to do too much SEO for and have hurt themselves in the process and hurt everybody else in the process. So, but here's the catch. You're like, okay, Josh, fine, I get it. There needs to be a Goldilocks zone, right? You need to be kind of in the middle. You need to be in this middle spot here. But the problem is it's different for every spot. The URL, you want to have zero spam, zero spam, zero spam. Notice how I fixed it by adding a date signal. Today, I have free, I have quality signals. I have knowledge graph or semantic signals. I have the exact match query. Some places you can use the exact match query, some places you can't. So you want zero spam here, zero spam here. So you can't be too rich, but you can't be too weak. It has to be just right. But what is just right depends on the spot. You want to be zero here in the meta description. However, if the H1, if your competitors are at 33%, you want to be approaching 33%, right? This is where Google is going to start to count the keywords. A little too richly for the example I showed you previously, right? Did someone raise a hand? Why is it giving me a hand there? High five. Okay, I don't know why it's there. And the body content as well. You want to start approaching, probably to some degree, the spam score they have, because this is, now you want to be leaning on the side of too much, because that is going to tell Google that you're about this. You still need to mention keywords. And not only do you need to mention that correctly for all these spots, then there's the actual spread keywords. You want to make sure you're mentioning the spread of keywords. There are no important topics of those questions that you're missing. And finally, you need to make sure that you have the right bigram and trigram entities. That you are saying sell your car as many times as roughly your highest competitor is. You're selling your car, sell your car in Dubai. Especially if there's a huge jump between this number and this number, you definitely want to pay attention to that. So we need probably more here. But not only is it that, I'm still answering your question, brother. Not, or sister, I don't know what gender that name is. Transgendered friend, whoever you are, citizen, pal. I'm still answering your question, pal. And not only do you have to watch all these things, which is enough for a human to do, then you need to count up the score and frequency for every single other entity you use, which is down here. These are all the entities being used, and it's like whatever, sold, for, selling, cars, sell, used. You see ones that have been missed. That could answer very important questions, for example, like how do you sell your car? Can I sell any car? How do I sell my car? There are a undetermined set of questions that must be answered to have a high quality EAT page on every single page. Every single page. And you need to be saying it to a certain degree completely dependent upon your competitors. If your competitor said it one time, you say it one time. If they said it 100 times, you need to start approaching 100 times. But it's not equal like that. It's all evened out between all the different entities, of which there are hundreds and hundreds of entities. My AI only tracks like the top 100 important ones, to which there are actually thousands of entities per page you need to count up and make sure you are in the right ratio for. Are you starting to appreciate how difficult that is now? I'm not lying to you. I'm not making it harder than it needs to be. That is what our science has proven is the truth. We have tested this thoroughly. We know this for a fact. Capital F fact. Do you see how it is impossible to do 2015 SEO anymore? It's not just about stick it in your title tag and you're done. Like that's like saying, oh, you need to have your pancreas, you need to have your spleen removed. Just stick an X-Acto knife in your arm and you're done. Like, that's how dumb that advice is. Just stick a keyword in the title and you're done. That's how people fail at SEO. That's why people don't, they're like, what? I don't get SEO anymore. I can't understand SEO anymore. And their hair looks like this. They go crazy. And they're like, I don't get how that works, Josh. How does that work? I don't know what to do. It's because you can't do it manually anymore. We don't do it manually anymore. You can't. You'll be in big trouble in little SEO if you try. If you try to do it manually. You can't do it. That's why we made an AI to do it. And it's different per niche. Some niches need more keywords, some niches need less. Of the various different types, of the 5 different types of keywords I told you that exist. That's how complex it is. So if you're like, gulp, I can't do SEO. Of course you can. SEO Copilot does it for you. It did it for me. I don't count these things up. It did it for me. I got the AI overview just using SEO Copilot, just making a standard article, making a good article. That's it. So it's both very, very complicated because they use AI to compute it. So just like in Terminator 2, we needed to have our own Terminator to fight their Terminator. And our Terminator is better. Quite frankly, we can get spot number 1. We now know why you cry. Hey, and there's the third. That's a 1990s movie, though. That's not cheesy. It's a pretty good movie. Okay. So that's how to answer your question, Elia. Does that make sense? Let me know if that made sense to you. So you'd want to do that page once, maybe twice, never touch it again. Because the anti-SEO algorithm will notice when you keep going back to a page and tweaking it. So do not go back to a page and keep tweaking it. Get SEO Copilot to do it right once. See how Google likes it. Be like, maybe I didn't hit the bigrams and trigrams hard enough. Maybe I need to change those around. And that will also make your spam score go up as well. And you need to go to a certain threshold, but not go in the red. And then be like, okay, great, done. This page, the on page is done. It can't get any better. Either it's going to rank on its own, or I need to add more pages on my site. And then when I've added enough pages that I'm complementary to everybody else, my competitors have around 300 pages. I have around 300 pages. Well, I can keep adding pages and beat them. Or, a major signal I could be missing could be the off-page signals, which is what I was talking about. So let me talk about the spam and the off-page signals you can watch. Elias says yes. Awesome. Give you a thumbs up. Okay. So what about these off-page penalties? Well, the off-page penalties are pretty standard. It's like, okay, don't go buying links. Super, super risky to do. It's super expensive and super risky. There's all kinds of ways Google can tell now by the traffic, by the visitation, by the way it was posted, the name it was posted under, the site it was posted under, the style of content, the ads on the site, the design of the site, the traffic going to the page or not going to the page, whether it shows up in Google alone, and on and on and on and on of all these different factors that Google can and does track to tell if this is a real, organic off-page signal or not. And you need to make sure they think it's an off-page signal. And here's another thing. If you are trying to boost Kitchen Reno Granite Bay, for example, and you have all these links doing that kind of stuff, and you start hitting the on-page of that hard, anti-SEO algorithm will hit you. It can, the AI is smart. The anti-SEO AI is smart. They can see, oh, look at all the on-page you did, and look at all the off-page you did, and look how rich it is to this keyword you supposedly want to rank for, this Kitchen Reno Granite Bay or whatever it is. it will hit you because of that. If you're doing this too much and this too much at the same time, or too rich. So you got to kind of decide, do I go rich here and then weak here? Do I go rich here and then weak here? There's a way to do it. Join Underground SEO University and we'll definitely help you do that. You'll be ranking with the best of them in absolutely no time. Okay. Other exotic penalties. I mean, that's basically it, quite frankly. Actually, I'm having trouble thinking of any other penalty. Yeah, that's basically it. Everything else would be a demotion and not really a penalty. There are still manual penalties. Still, Google has fired most of their manual quality raters. They used to have tens of thousands more that they don't have anymore. They have an AI now in real time judging the quality of your page, which was always their goal. Their goal was always to have an AI doing that. So it's very interesting. So you are in big trouble, my friend, if you still think 2015 tactics work in terms of that's the level of quality I need. That's what a keyword is. It's just 2 or 3 words, right, Josh? I just put them in the title. You know, if you think you can tweak that page 20 times, if you think you can afford to have spam artifacts on your page or with all your off-page references. For the another thing about off-page references that I will mention is there's spam in other people's systems too. So don't even think of it as Google spam. Think of it as the spam fighting that people might do in Twitter, Facebook, you know, Yelp, things like that. There's spam penalties you can get across the board in trying to get the fabric of signals you'll need to rank highly in Google and to get into the AI overview for 2025 and beyond. Okay, so that's what I wanted to cover today, guys. Thanks very much for listening and watching. Now let's get to the questions. Let me get you your coupon codes. First off to you guys, email me with this coupon code to get up to 100% off. To 100% off on SEO CP and or SEO U. So you can email me with that coupon code for people in the Zoom here. People in the YouTubes, what kind of questions do you guys got? Let me know if you guys have any questions here. Did you guys know about all those penalties? Let me know. I don't see any questions here on the YouTubes. So let me do the draw. So let's see. We have both Douglas has replied yes to the draw, and also I think it'll be Alaya here, I believe, or someone's name here in the email was Etanel. I don't know if that's the same person. So that's 2 people. So I need to randomly generate a number between 1 or 2. So I will do that with this fancy thing called a D6, a 6-sided die. Here it is, a standard 6-sided die. So Douglas, yeah, I'll use this one. It's pretty well weighted. So Douglas, you'll be odd, and Alaya, I think that's you, you'll be even, okay? So let me roll it, drum roll. Who's gonna get the free SEO audit? And again, if you wanna get an SEO audit for yourself, go to SEOcopilotai.com. Go here to SEO Copilot, go here to resources and go to free on-page SEO Copilot training, which is it's signing you up just for the same course I do every Friday. And you can get it in the Zoom and you can be added to the draw as well. And the answer is, odd was Douglas 6. Douglas says, I'm gonna withdraw. Okay, you don't want, okay, well, it doesn't matter because I rolled a 6 anyway. Douglas says, I lost anyway. Elias says, yay, yay, okay. I don't know, okay, if you want to withdraw, Douglas, how courteous of you. How courteous of you. Someone conceding that they actually lost some kind of contest and not being like, it's fake, it's rigged, it's a fake die, Josh fake rolled it. Okay, I didn't fake roll it, I really rolled it. Okay, so Alaya, email me at joshpachinski@gmail.com. I'm happy to set up your free audit for you, my friend. To do the best audit for you, I would need access to your Search Console. It's easy to do. Just add my Josh Pachinski email to your Search Console. I don't need full access. Just read access is fine. And I can definitely get you stuff that's going to help you out. And yeah, awesome. So what questions you guys got? Let me take this coupon code and now give it to folks here on the tube views. You guys can use it here as well. I see there's more. Oops, SEO. Yes, we know about SEO, Josh. Let me. Sure, Alaya. We can have a private We can have a private Ask Me Anything after this, which Elia has asked for. There we go. So use that coupon code, guys. Email is, let me give you my email address. joshmashinsky@gmail.com. There you go. Boom. So what questions you guys got? Guys on YouTube? Douglas, do you have any other questions before we go to the private Ask Me Anything? I know you were about 10, 20 seconds delay on YouTube. So guys on YouTube, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Any questions about penalties? Any issues you guys are having? Anything at all? Douglas, do you have any questions? Elia asks, what would you say are the top 3 ranking factors? Great, I can answer that. I presume you want me to answer that in private, so I can go into a little bit more detail. Douglas said, did you say there is an issue with keyword and URL? Yes, there's a huge issue with keyword and URL. There's a specific way you need to do it. There's a very specific Goldilocks zone that you need to have in there. What about people on YouTube? Doesn't look like they're interested? Okay, well then I'll turn off the YouTube broadcast and I will start answering the questions for these guys here. If you want to get into the secret private Ask Me Anything at the end of the show, by all means, sign up for my newsletter that I send out weekly, which has some jokes in it and talks about SEO, goes into a bit more detail how to do this stuff. Email me if you want to sign up for the newsletter and or if you want to sign up for the course. All right, guys, thanks very much. Thanks for listening and watching. I'll stop broadcasting now, and we'll go to the Ask Me Anything. So Doug and Elia, stay here. I'll answer your questions shortly.